Today's video, I'm going to show you what the gurus don't want you to know, which is how to go online in your computer, bring the power of these crazy softwares to your fingertips so you can get in front of these amazing motivated leads. These are like the code violations, pre-foreclosures, probates, liens, tax liens, credit card debt lien lists, tax delinquencies, judgments, and so much more. How to get free online leads right now, today. What is up, guys? Zach in here, and in today's video, you're gonna watch me go online behind the computer and actually pull online government leads. These are gonna be leads you actually get from the government. They're actually free, and this is gonna help you get in front of the most motivated sellers possible in under 5 minutes. This costs no money, no softwares, no crazy paid things. This is absolutely gonna be 100% free and online. I think one of the biggest misconceptions so many wholesalers have, they pay for a software, that's better information because you paid for it. And that's not necessarily the case. The softwares are great, but they just make it easier, and they are clearly a tool. So that's why in today's video, I'm gonna show you what the gurus don't want you to know, which is how to go online in your computer, bring the power of these crazy softwares to your fingertips so you can get in front of these amazing motivated leads. These are like the code violations, pre-foreclosures, probates, liens, tax liens, credit card debt lien lists, tax delinquencies, judgments, and so much more. Guys, with under 5 minutes of actual work, you're gonna get a wide array of this information so you can start wholesaling this list for big profits. But before I get into it, do me a big favor, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, and let's get into it. So before we get into it, let's just sort of understand what we're doing here. These are leads you get from the government. So if I want to get leads from the government that are really motivated, I have to go to the government websites. And most of these lists we're going to pull today are clearly off of one website. This is the clerk of the court. Now, not every county, because there's over 3,000 counties in the United States, you can easily just click a website and get the list. But I would say for most counties, it's pretty accessible for all this information. Now, as a private tax-paying citizen in the United States, I have a clear right to get any of this information. And if you are not, you probably know somebody online that is. And because the United States laws are written in a way where you really have a freedom of so much information, especially from your government, they have to give you this information. If they don't, you can file a FOIA Act or what we call a Freedom of Information Act to get it. No matter what, you're gonna get this list. So let's go behind the computer right now and let's pull the list in my local county so I can show you exactly how I go through this process. All right, guys and gals, so we are behind Google right here, and all I'm basically gonna do here is search my county's clerk of the court website. And so let's do a really big county where a lot of people are subscribed in my channel. Locally to me is Palm Beach County, so that's where Palm Beach is. So what I'm gonna do is just search Palm Beach County clerk of the court. So we're gonna click enter, and the first thing that pops up right here is the clerk of the court. So I'm just gonna search here, and clearly I've been here a lot of times to pull government lists, so I'm pretty comfortable with this process. Now, there's two types of ways we can pull these really good government lists. Number one is going to be looking at the court records, which they have right here. And the other one is going to be looking at the official records. Now, I actually prefer the official records over the court records because Florida has some weird laws with probates and online, but you can still get some information. So let's break this all down. So let's go by court records. I think the first and probably most important list for me to be pulling is going to be the probate list. So let's go over here and pull some probates. So I'm going to click continue as guest. I'm not a robot. Alrighty. Now, this is where a lot of people get confused. They're like, oh, I got to put a name in. Now, some places have to put a name in, some don't. If they do, you might have to go in person to get the information. I know in Florida, they have a law where I can't get the actual PR's information, like their address and stuff, unless I actually go in person. So sometimes a little different. But really what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to the probates. So how do I do this? I just go by court type, and I go by here probate court, right? And then there's like other stuff I can do from there, but usually I like it when the estate is over $1,000 because that's usually a property. So I'm gonna click that, and then all I'm gonna do is just click search, and it'll give me the closest by dates versus not. So that's pretty cool here. These are all people that unfortunately passed away. And some own property, some don't. So how am I going to figure this out? I'm just looking at here, all the names. All I'm going to do is just click one. So this is a newer one. And I click the case information. It looks like a David Andrew Thompson unfortunately passed away. So I can go here on party names and really see what's going on here, right? So I see the attorney here is going to be William Frazier. And the person that died, the decedent, is going to be David Andrew Thompson. Now, I don't even know if David Andrew Thompson owns property, but I know the petitioner is going to be Brian R. Thompson. Now, the number one telltale sign that this person is related to somebody is going to be the last name's the same. And so that's obviously who the PR is, and PR is short for personal representative, the person that's really in charge of the estate. And really what a probate list is, it's a list of people that passed away. And when they pass away, they probably might want to sell the property to heirs. And that's when we get really big profits. So I go to dockets. I don't see too much information here on exactly the property. So we're getting no information here. So I just got to figure out, honestly, this guy, if he owned any property. So what I'm really just going to do is I'm just going to search him up on the property appraiser website. And since I know here his name is David Andrew Thompson, it might not be that difficult. Now, unfortunately here, I don't know if this David guy owns property because David Andrew Thompson is actually a very, very popular name. So I'm looking through David Thompson. Now there is a David and Thompson, no David A's, but there is some here. So it's gonna be a little more difficult for me to find. So all I'm gonna do is just search this guy up on True People Search so I get more information. So I was searching David Andrew Thompson. I click here. It's gonna pop up. Is David Andrew Johnson. And so we really couldn't find his address there on TruePeopleSearch.com. So we'll just go to the next one here. So the next one here, let's just do Bonnie Zalkowitz. So click her name. And so she passed away, and the petitioner is Robert Zalkowitz. So let's search Zalkowitz on the property appraiser. And so a Bonnie G. Zalkowitz does pop up here. And we're gonna click that. And it looks like she owned this property 744 Rexford Road. So now we know who that person is. Now, when I search the last name, there's a Robert that popped up. And this is where it gets really interesting because I go here and I look at the petitioner, who is basically the person who's getting the property. And it looks like a Robert Zalkowitz is going to be the other person. He's probably a son. And all I really got to do is I'm going to search him up on the property appraiser too. And right here, you can see it popped up. And it looks like he also lives on the property. So either they are married or it's actually all in a trust together. So it's pretty easy who the PR is on this one. It's actually probably the husband. And we still mail to those properties. Now let's get back here. That's how you sort of pull the probates. Let's go by official records here. And it basically just pops up this page right here for the official records. Now, I don't know anyone's names because I don't know the liens list. So all I have to do is not go by name, just go by document, because it's going to make me force a name and I don't have a name, but I have document type I like. So I'm going to click this, click accept. And now we're sort of in this. So now, because all these government leads are in here, I can just play around and see what I want. So for example, I want to go by categories, and this is where all the good information is, right? So I can go by death certificates, I can go by deeds, so that's not the most interesting for me. Judgments are good, liens are good, list pendants are actually going to have the pre-foreclosure list on here. There's going to be probate right here, tax liens, termination, all this fun stuff. Let's go by list pendants and look for some pre-foreclosures. Let's do all pre-foreclosure last 30 days. I'm not a robot, and just click submit. So here it is, just popped up. So I can go right here, I look at list pendants. And so I can go by here by reverse name, and I can figure out exactly who is the person giving the court action to the other person. Now, list pendants is usually court action when someone's not paying the mortgage and they're trying to take the property back. So I just keep looking here. Equinox Holdings. So the land trust. This one looks pretty interesting. So let's click this one. Now it looks like someone's going after a probate situation. Let's see here. So on the property address of 1460 Northwest 1st Street in Boynton Beach, that seems like they're trying to do a quiet title here. So this could be pretty interesting. So maybe someone's not paying, they're trying to take the property over. That might be a good lead. I keep going by here and looking. A lot of these are HOAs, but the best ones are definitely from banks. But like I look at the United States of America, this is probably an IRS one. So that they're doing a forfeiture on the property of 22286 Topoleo Place in Boca Raton. Seems like this is an HOA lien. So this could be someone's facing foreclosure. So this is a good pre-foreclosure lead. You can see Amiros Gonzalez, and I have the address right there. Now, some of my favorite ones are when they're bank and decedents because it's a probate and a pre-foreclosure at the same time. This is when there's a ton of motivation. So for example, I see Wells Fargo Bank, which is definitely going to be a mortgage. And then I see someone's that's deceased on here and a PR. So this is money right here because this is a bank, someone's not paying a loan and someone passed away. So there's a lot of motivation. This is the legal description. So not as fancy, but you can just pop that in the property appraiser. It should show up. Or you can just search the names on here and look them up on the property appraiser. But it looks like a Diana Vargas passed away, and then a Ricardo Fabian Zerat is the grantee. So he's actually getting the property. Now, you see Doc Legals right here? I can pop that literally in the property appraiser and find the address really quick and fast and easy. And this literally just got filed yesterday, last evening, of someone that passed away and no one for probably 3 to 4 months paying the mortgage payments. That's an amazing property to be going after. And this is where you get a lot of these leads. There's credit card debt lien lists, there's probates, probate pre-foreclosures, code violations are actually going to be on here. There's some liens on here, liens, code violations. Guys, I can go on and on forever in this video on it, but if you go to your local county's official records in the property appraiser, actually go by all the liens, list pendants, and probates, you're going to find a lot of this information. And if you can't get it online, go in person. This information is still going to be on there. They say no. File of Freedom of Information Act. It's called a FOIA Act, FOIA, and you'll be able to get this information. Guys, if you got any value from this video, if you want to start getting more leads like this that are free online that your guru and no one else on YouTube is going to talk about, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, and see you guys later. This is Zach signing out. Have a blessed one.